Okay, away we go, heading to Big Grove, folks. I took you to Iowa Hill, and now we'll go to Big Grove. If I see any interesting scenery, I'll turn the cam on. I usually like to film a little when I drive, just to give you a reality perspective of what it is, what it's like to take a road like this, and that way you can see, is it safe enough? Should I take my truck, my car? What's the scenery like? What's the journey like? You get a feel for what we do here. Good road, great scenery, lots of history. Can't beat that. This is Lord Rick. Yeah, they say, oh, it's bad, this and that, be careful, hazardous. And, you know, that road was actually one of the better roads. It was a little narrow, but it was big enough for two vehicles, and there was only cliffs like maybe a mile or two of the road. The rest was all forested like this. I like how the trees just canopy over. But we're at the top of the Sierras. Not the high Sierras, but the lower Sierras.
It's kind of creepy that it's so thick.
Well, that's why there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings up in this region. Because imagine, if you were a Sasquatch living in these woods, you know you would never be found. You know you'd never be seen. You could go 2-3 miles in the woods left or right and live back there. Build yourself a little camp. If you were a Sasquatch out of wood and rocks, nobody's going to find you. Who's going to go in the woods, just park here and start walking in the woods for miles? Something could be back here living. A cryptid, an unknown species of animal that's never been found or discovered. Hell, wolverines could be back here. They got them up in this region. But they're hardly ever seen once in 10 years. But that don't mean they're not back in these woods. Technically, if you go about a half mile to the left, there's the Forest Hill Divide and the North Fork of the American River. You can see through the trees, the opening. It's a huge canyon over there. But that it's still very remote. I mean, if you look to your right, it's very overgrown. Anything could be back there. That's why Bigfoot sightings are so intense out in this region and so high. And people find tracks all the time because it's just, look at it. Look how dark it is back here.
I know. It's creepy.
The terrain's hilly, and there's all kinds. There's not just pine trees, but there's brush and there's other types of trees. So it's a forest filler. So in between the big trees, you got all these little brush and ferns and smaller trees. And the forest is like, I mean, it's so thick you could barely push through that. Yeah, so I can understand why a Sasquatch would be back here. Because it could stay undetected for hundreds of years. Nobody's going to go back here. And if it smells you, it'll just get away from you. It'll smell you a mile away. It can hide easily in these woods for years. Holy crap, look at those birds.
Ravens.
Ravens, yeah. I see them. Oh, don't go. Damn you. Where'd he go? Oh, he's up in the tree. I photographed the ravens just now. Actually, one of them, the other one flew off. The other one flew to a different tree. And I'm just like, I'll get it. Yeah, it's pretty creepy back here. You won't want to walk this road at night. Some creepy country back in here. This is Bigfoot country. Yeah, I see it. This trek should be about, this is a 20-mile trek to Big Grove. But it's still shorter than going through Forest Hill. Because Forest Hill is a long way. It's like an extra 20 miles. Because you got to go all the way south, then all the way east. Then you got to cut all the way back around the Mosquito Ridge. It's just not worth it. It's better to go through the ghost town of Iowa Hill, take the back road here along the, high up above the North Fork of the American River, and then descend down on the Big Grove. A lot easier. It is offbeat though. If you don't like
more wildlife back here.
Yeah, there is more wildlife to see. Well, that's why I chose this way too, because I'm hoping I'll see some deer crossing the road. There's nothing out here but a bunch of reservoirs and offbeat roads and woods. If you go downtown Forest Hill, that's urban life. There isn't much nature. Unless you are, you go to the cemetery, there's flowers everywhere. Or like some people have their houses, gardens around their houses. But here, this is straight up wilderness. This is just a road that cuts through the wilderness. Never did see the reservoir. And that was supposed to be pretty close to Iowa Hill.
It's at the end of Iowa Hill Road.
Oh. Huh.
It's where Sugar Pine meets.
Oh, okay. You're right. There's Forbes Campground, too. We're definitely going to camp at Meadow Lake. Do some boating, fishing. I got some hikes. I'm going to relax. Just enjoy that place. Go up on the dam again. Maybe fish off the dam. That's where you get the big fishes below the dam. Big ones. Trout. Catfish. Yummy catfish. In the pan, baby. In my mouth. From the pan to my mouth.
I would like that camp spot right by the...
That's downtown.
Yes and no.
That's downtown of the ghost town.
I like that camp spot, but then everybody that wants to go out to the dam is going to be right next to your camp spot.
We should get the one that's near downtown. You know where the historic plaque is? You make a left, and it goes out to like a shady area in the lake. It's only a single spot right there, but that's like you could walk to the dam 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
So, but I'm thinking somewhere in there. I want to be close to downtown, so at night I can take off and go try to do an investigation of where downtown was, because where the plaque is, that's where all the hotels. They had a 10,000 square foot plaza there, and they had hotels and saloons and brothels and all that in that wide open area. That was all the city right there. Nothing's there anymore but the plaque, but still, it's a pretty cool area to camp near, because you could just walk right to it at night and hang out there. Plus you could see all the stars. It's wide open, every star in the sky. But I think Meadow Lake deserves a camping trip, just because when I go to these places, if I find something that's really pretty or nice, I'll camp there. Restricted area boundary. Do not touch this. Do not do that. Forest Hill Road, Iowa Hill Road. So do I go right? Yeah. Or left? Oh, those are campgrounds. Alrighty. Our camping areas. Let's keep going this way. The Sugar Pine Reservoir. On our way back, we'll take some pics. These reservoirs are generally man-made, or they take lakes and they flood them using the creek by building the dam. Oh yeah, driving across the dam right now. There's a pull-off area. We'll get it on our way back. On the other side of that, this bend to the left, they have a parking lot. You can step on the shores. It's really down. Look, the tree line's there, and it's like 20 feet to the bottom. So here's a plaque. We'll get this on the way back, a historic plaque. I can't wait to see the sequoias. There's not that many, but the ones they have are pretty gorgeous. Named after World War I generals, or heroes, I should say, which is pretty cool. Sugar Pine Reservoir, that was. Sugar Pine. It's pretty offbeat back here. There's nothing out here, man. No stores, no towns. Iowa Hill's the last of civilization for next 20 miles, probably. And that's, if you want to call that civilization, they just got electrical up there a year ago, supposedly, or a few years. Sites say different things. Some say 2010, some say 2014. I don't know. Let's just say that it's so remote that you're in the sticks. It's the sticks. And we're in the sticks some more. We're getting deeper in the sticks. Deeper and deeper. It's about as deep into the National Forest of the Sears as you're going to get. Big Grove is nestled and hidden away far from civilization. 40 miles of road to get to the Big Grove, which most people aren't willing to take because they're scared of the cliffs and going too deep in the forest. Then you get people like me who just want to see it all and don't care where we end up in the forest, as long as we get to see it. Fire area. Folks, what you're seeing is an area, there's a forest fire. There's a road to the right. It leads to Deadwood. Deadwood is about 25 miles of dirt road, and when you get to the end, there's a cemetery. The rest of the town's gone, or the foundations are hidden in the woods. But there's a lot of settlements. There's Mumford Bar, Italian Bar. We've seen Mineral Bar. They're all along this pass. And these were mining settlements. People were living there. They even had saloons and a couple structures. They weren't anything too large, so it's not as large as Iowa Hill, but I wanted to show you, besides the forest being all cindered here, look straight ahead. We're driving into the smoke of this massive forest fire. And I'm not too worried, because if the fire spread, I could drive this car 100 miles an hour out here and I'd get out. Believe me, I would not stick around the burn. However, the fire's not here, but the smoke this thick can travel 50, 60 miles and settle in valleys and canyons like this, and it could stay like this for days. But if we continue on, the visibility is going to be quite low, and I can already smell wood burning. And this was a nasty forest fire, and this is not far from the sequoias. So they weren't kidding when they said the sequoias, the fire reached their front door. They're not kidding. This was a massive fire at one time, and we're just 8 miles away from the sequoias. That's too close. You're supposed to be able to see the American River and the mountains. Look at this. You can barely see the mountains. This is all from a forest fire, and usually it's people that cause forest fires. Not this time. This year the story's been drought and lightning strikes. But losing over 1 million acres and having 100 fires going on at once, this mountain range is going to be destroyed, and guess what? It may not bounce back. Without the trees, the desert of Nevada and Idaho and parts of Oregon will spread and consume this range, and you will only have forest at the highest levels where there's snowpack, moisture, and all the lower levels will be desert. You already have certain types of desert brush and lizards that roam this elevation, which tells you it's in 100 years this is going to be a high desert probably.
Function Junction.
Robinson Flat, 10 miles, American Hill Road, yeah, Function Junction. You're supposed to have good scenic views down in the canyon to the left. I see nothing but smoke. So I can't even get scenic pictures in this area like I normally always get for my friends, and just because I like taking scenic pics.
Where's the fire at, though, do you know?
Well, it's got to be north of Truckee. Although when I went through Truckee, the visibility was next to none. So it's either, I think it's north because the clouds were to the north. If it was to the south, you wouldn't have smoke to the north. So towards maybe Sierraville, Sierra City, like up around there, Yuba Pass. Look at this. This is creepy. All the burnt trees, holy shit. People cutting firewood because even though they're burnt, you could still use this as firewood. There's no sense in, you can't save these trees. They're burnt down and they're never going to grow again. You probably want the forestry wants you to cut these down so new trees can grow. Yep. Chainsaw. Too bad this is not closer to my house. I'd be here collecting wood. Of course, I got an area I'll be going to get wood. And I got plenty of wood anyways to last through winter. I'll just get a couple extra cords just in case. It's supposed to be one of the worst winters in the last 100 years. The El Nino is getting so strong over the Sierras. They said that in October it's probably going to start snowing, raining and snowing all the way up until March. Could get 100 feet in the Sierras of snow. That means that we'll be hiking in snow as late as July next year. August we'll be hiking in snow. And these forest fires won't happen if there's snow up in these elevations, because the fire's not going to skip around past snow, only where there's dry brush and leaves. Look at this. This was a bad fire. Was this caused by the King Fire? Remember the King Fire? Because they said something about the King Fire coming out here very close. And I'm thinking maybe this was part of the King Fire here. I know there was a major fire here this year in this area. Some of the trees are growing and some aren't. Whoa. That's not a teepee. That is a pile of logs. Because the only way the forest can bounce back is by getting rid of some of the logs to allow tree growth. That's crazy. It's okay, Mother Nature will recover, and they don't understand. These fires are caused by the global warming and the lack of rain. and then you get the dry brush for years, and the reservoir's running low, and the lightning strikes, man causes a lot of fires. I mean, it's man's fault because we're not taking care of the earth and the environment. Therefore, this is not, this area, the Sierras average a couple fires a year, not a couple hundred fires a year. There's not even enough firemen to cover all the fires, and basically the Sierras are burning down. Yosemite, half of Yosemite's gone. This area, half of this area is gone. The King area, the Markleyville area, half of that area is gone. This is not a joke. This area hadn't seen fire in 1,000 years, and then all of a sudden, since we've had drought, the mega drought the last couple years, there's all kinds of fires. Look at this. Miles and miles of trees gone. No Bigfoot, no animals. And now you have smoke running through here, and of course it could skip over again. And here we go. On June 21st, 2008, a lightning storm ignited the American River Complex fire. The fire scorched 19,600 acres of national forest land on both sides of the North Fork and along the surrounding ridge tops. Tree planting efforts were required in most severely burned areas to help regrow the forest. Thanks to cooperative efforts and donations and the Plant a Tree program. They're trying to reforest this area. Arbor Day Society. It's going to take a long time. Wow. See, we got on that other ridge, the smoke's going to get worse because we're heading back into it. When you go down to Auburn, the only way to get in these mountains, you have to go all the way around and then take the roads that go east up into it. We're heading towards Lake Tahoe, towards Truckee right now, but in the wilderness area. And if the smoke's as bad as where we were at, there's not going to be much visibility. But the fire has to be in the north because there was smoke to the north and the south, and the wind's kind of blowing south, so it's coming from the north. But that doesn't mean this is not healthy to breathe in.
No.
And plus, I'm not gonna get any scenic pics because it's clouded. It's crazy, but it's the truth. Maybe in Iowa Hill because there's less smoke there, but the further we go towards this area, forget it. But it's kind of creepy when you ride through this. There's definitely not going to be any Bigfoot running through here. There's nowhere for that poor thing to even hide. Wow. Now people know what it's like to go through a dead forest. Dead wood, dead forest. Tahoe National Forest is one of the prettiest I've been in. It's one of my favorite national forests because it has some of the highest Bigfoot activity in the whole world. And some of the most beautiful lush forests in the country. But when you go through something like this and see a bunch of dead trees, it makes you wonder. It's like, wow, so much was lost. This was probably a very beautiful area 10 years ago, and now it's bare. Beecroft Trail, a lot of trails, but who's going to take a trail with no trees? There's no shade, there's nothing. Now we're starting to head southeast towards the Grove. Next we're heading up over the ridge, Mosquito Ridge. At least the road's good. Climbing the Sierras. The bare ass Sierras. It's in the buck. But what it'll do is it'll continue southeast, and then it'll cut right and go right near Jarvis Road where the Grove is. So we're almost to the Grove, but you could see the fire came really close to the Grove because it's not that far from here. And Narrows and bringing boats and horses and truckloads is probably not a good idea, especially since, see how it goes right, since this is probably almost Mosquito Ridge, but I mean, you're riding along the edge. Little chipmunk.
That was a little booger.
It was a baby. I always like seeing the chipmunks. It gives me some serenity. Yeah, we're almost at the top of the ridge and top of the mountains for this area, but I can't get a scenic pic because it's just too hazy and smoky out here. It really is. And out near Tahoe is ridiculous. You can barely see the lake. It's so smoky. Just heat up the planet even more, you know? That's all it does, heat up the planet. It's a damn shame. Smoke's getting thicker. Just found a new area of burnt forest. This is probably a separate fire because for a while there was nothing but lush forest, and now we're back to another burnt forest. There's been multiple fires. This one may have been recent. Look at that. Whew. Unbelievable. It's not good. There's not going to be any forest left or anywhere to go soon. All the ghost towns and historic sites and beautiful trails will have nothing but burnt trees soon. Burnt trees and ash and smolder. Like hiking in Nevada. You don't have a tree to hide under. Roast. Look, there's zero visibility almost up there where we're going. You can barely see the mountain. Crazy. Of all days to go, I go on the day there's smoke here. A parking area. Southeast is how, this is probably Mosquito Ridge here. It starts to go southeast. And then it bends around, and then Jarvis is on the left. Look at that. You can't even see that peak. Jesus. It's supposed to be a beautiful mountain right there, and you can't even see it. It's just flabbergasted. A lot of birds, like you were saying. There are a lot of birds flying around. A lot of ravens, too. Pretty country, but if it all burns down, there'll be nothing left to enjoy here. Sun's not even sun's looking orange, like an orange, because it's not even getting through because the smoke's so thick up here. It's just floating on the forest floor. Wow. Seems like the animals are probably more active because they don't like the smoke. The birds, the deer, they're just trying to get away from it. They could probably smell it or sense it. Probably think a forest fire's coming. They're all freaking out. Look at this. It's getting worse. Wow. Too bad I didn't bring some mask. Rolling up my window. Try not to breathe this in too much. Jeez. It's crazy. Holy shit. Look at this. Come around the bend, it's even worse. Man, that sucks. I brought the football to play with the kids. You know, at big trees, because there's a picnic area. But it's like, holy crap, man. I don't know how long we'll have to breathe this stuff in. When you're out here, we're so close to it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's not fire or anything that's a hazard. It's this smoke. There's people up here camping and hiking and cutting wood, but it's not healthy to be in. It's not good for the lungs. It's worse than smoking a cigar or smoking a cigarette, I can tell you that.
Let's get my eyes burning.
Yeah. It's getting thicker because we're getting in the heart of the smoke. Because basically we're almost near Truckee. We're just on the wilderness side of it, the side you can't get to over the mountains. That's all we're at. Because it zip lines back into the, because you're into the North America, you know, you're into the Forest Hill Divide, which is the only way to go from the divide is to start in the foothills. And so what it is, the smoke settled in the, you know, it's settling in these valleys. And And it's not going to go anywhere. It could stay smoky for a week like this. Okay, here we go. French Meadows, big trees to the right. Cool. It's big trees, right? Yeah, that's a campground right there.
8 miles on this.
Yeah, but if it's only like this, it won't be too bad. Remember, it's a touristy area, and it says two-wheel drive, so, but that doesn't mean it's not a gravel road. Of course, when I looked at it from above, it showed a concrete road leading out from Jarvis, because Jarvis is to the left. Let me look at my speedometer here. It says I'm trying to figure it out. 12,721. So when it's at 12,729, we'll be there. I just need to pay attention so I know how many miles we're going. As long as there's no big boulders, right? Looks like they're putting in new logging roads here, cutting trees. Eventually they'll probably pave it, but they should have it paved considering this is a, you know what I mean, it's not really touristy, but they said it does get a lot of visitors in the summer, so I would think they would, if they would continue to pave it all the way through, and they didn't, you know what I'm saying? It is maintained. It is a maintained dirt road though, look, and they're going to cut these trees. See all the blue? They're cutting it. They're probably going to pave it. It's just they could have paved it when we were coming, right?
Yeah, right.
Duncan Peak lookout. Must be having a bunch of new areas and stuff up here to check out. To the big grove we go. It's a wood cutting area. They're trying to widen the road. Some of the trees are marked. We just seen a tree fall by the road. I had gotten startled because I wasn't really paying attention, and all of a sudden I looked over and the tree fell, and there was a bunch of earth throwing up and particles into the air, and we drove right through it. The car's probably filthy muddy right now, or at least brown. We're almost to big trees, big tree grove. A couple more miles to go. If you decide to come here, just know there is a little bit of dirt road. However, it's not a bad dirt road. You can take two-wheel drive on it. It might be paved on the opposite end of the grove. I don't know. I'm not from here. Google Earth doesn't reveal much when there's a lot of forest, just patches of road, which look paved to me, but like I said, on the other side it might be paved. This is the back way in. In this area, they're just developing as a outdoor recreation area, so it seems. This is a pretty good road right here. Hardly any rocks. It does get better as you get closer to the grove. But back there, there's a lot of rocks and everything because it's all being logged. A lot of debris in the road and gravel and everything else. Where do I... Oh, the road. No, I don't want to go on the dirt section. That's not a road, although they're making new roads. Yeah, we're finally here, thank goodness. Big Trees Grove, half mile. Yep, this is Jarvis. This is what I seen on the map. It's a dead-end parking lot. There's a campground over here, too. It's a nice area to hike and look around. Oh, yeah. There's every type of mine. They said there's about 300 to 400,000 mines between California and Nevada. Because some mines were only a few feet deep. and you'll get a side of a hill that has 30 holes, and each one counts as a mine. Good thing I went another mile further. It's not 8 miles, it's over 8 miles. It's almost 9. So the mileage was off from that sign. But at least we're not lost. Big trees, I can taste you and smell you and eat you. Big trees. Maybe not eat them. Not much of the wood eating, bark eating. It wouldn't be very tasty.
Is it willow bark? Isn't that what they get aspirin from?
Well, I used to take my willow bark and make a tea with it for pain. Because I had this willow tree that was like 500 years old. Huh?
Can you find willows at swamps?
Well, yeah, but you find them also down south a lot. They're common down south. They're common in New York. They're all over New York. Here's the bathrooms and parking area.
Good, because I gotta pee like crazy.
Yes, we have arrived. Big Trees Trail. It's right here at the bathrooms. Cool. Forest View Trail. 40-minute trail time, it says. Walking trail. There's also nature plaques and things. We are on the Forest Trail. And I'll give you guys a little bit of history when we get deeper in, as I do with all my videos, because videos should have some substance. It shouldn't just be, hey, I'm filming. You should be able to at least talk about the area and the history. This is the Tahoe National Forest. It's one of the largest national forests in the Sierra Nevada mountain range. We're not even close to Tahoe. It's probably about 25, 30 miles east. And there's no way to it but a bunch of Jeep roads and back country trails like this. Now this area, keep in mind, there's only 6 giant sequoias. There used to be a lot more. The area was lumbered. It has younger giant sequoias, 700 to about 1,200 years old. Now when we went to Calvera's big trees, some of them sequoias, 1,600 years old. So these trees are practically just babies growing. No less, 700 years old is an old tree. And so I will still relish seeing such a tree growing. A lot of trees here are pretty large. But miners came here and they needed the lumber to build their cabins, their homes, these ghost towns and settlements. And that's basically what happened. A miner stumbled upon this area and said, you know, this area needs to be protected. Because he was just hiking through the woods and came out in a grove of large sequoias. I see one off in the distance now. And so basically what happened was he put it in order to protect it. And then, of course, later on the government and the state had gotten involved. There's only 6 groves, 6 giant sequoia groves in the world. And most of them are in California. And I've been to, this is probably my 4th one. I'm going to try to do them all eventually. Because one day they're not going to exist. And the only thing we're going to have is pictures, video, maybe some selfies. Cows. Those are cattle bells.
Oh, can I see something? You know that shot that I got? Or the needle that she was taking from blood? That's where it's from. Yeah. See that?
Might get to see some cattle. I see
She was
that.
taking my blood.
She didn't breathe you.
Huh?
Looks like she did a good job. She didn't breathe you.
Yeah, I know.
We're continuing up the forest trail. It seems that it ascends. I still hear cattle running around. It's very odd to see cattle running through the national forest up on hills in the woods staring at you. It's kind of creepy. But they do exist. I've seen many cattle on hikes like these. A lot of free range, a lot of ranchers raise cattle. I've seen cattle guards in the area, so we know they're out there. But cattle running along the redwoods, that's different. That's a one-of-a-kind type of thing. We're at the wrong time of year. There's hardly any flowers. There should be more flowers here. But these trees are definitely 150 feet tall. One of the trees is 225, 250. There are some big trees that are in this area. And the big trees are gorgeous. You can't even see the tops of some of these. They said they planted a fresh sequoia here too. It's not that old. A sapling. But they need to plant more than one sapling. They should be planting about 20 of these things. These trees are going to go extinct soon. We got to start planting. If you see them, let me know. I'll film them. We're getting closer and closer to these cows. Cattle, cows, beef monsters. Don't scare them off either. They'll run. I got to get video footage. Hold on. I see it. Up on the steep hill. Oh, there it is. Holy crap. They're gone, man. They just booked it. There was 3 black ones. I got video footage of them, but I couldn't get a decent photo. They were going uphill when they heard me. Look at this, man. There's cattle hiking in the friggin'... That tree is like 8 feet around. Well, these cattle do climb mountains, and pretty big ones. There's 3 of them. Yeah, I see them. Oh yeah.
Dad,
You just...
let's keep the plants.
There they go. They're crossing the tree line. They're way up there. Look how steep it is. It goes like almost straight up. It levels off and starts going up again.
Watch what plants he kicks, because there's poison ivy.
Yeah, there's poison oak on this trail. Just don't get it on your skin unless you want to itch like crazy. So that was exciting. That was exciting. Got to see some cattle. Probably see them on the way back too when they get comfortable to come back down. Yeah, those cattle, they're very evasive. Let the aliens get to them because I'm not climbing through that brush to get to them. I tried 5 times to take their picture, and every time they stayed still and I got ready to press a button, they'd move behind a tree. It's kind of odd though to see cattle running through the woods. This is the only place really I've ever seen it, is the high Sierras. The Sierras have a lot of meadows, creeks, lakes. It's ideal for cattle. However, how do you keep track of your cattle when they're roaming the woods? What if a bear gets to them or some other animal? I know they tag them, but how do you find your cattle in the woods? Let's say they're on a 10-mile trek in the woods. If they go up into there and they die in a bush, how do you find them? I guess you just mark it down. It's missing. Can't find it. It's a pretty nice forest. Kind of has a mystical feeling to it. All the moss and vines growing. Traversing the redwood forest. Each tree is supposed to have a name and a label, so I assume we're not even there yet. There's a whole grove of them all next to each other. Of course, some of these look like redwoods, like this one here spread out. Well, this is one right here, isn't it? No. See how it's marked? Yeah, dude. There's no plaque on it. There's supposed to be 17 or 13 plaques, and each one has a name. What? That's it. No, it, from cattle probably. This is the first one, I think. It's gotta be.
Stepped in a big cow.
Oh no! That was hard as a rock. Yeah. Look how it's missing. Someone tore it off. It should be on that wood pole. This has got to be the first one. Look, because there's another one up ahead. Towering above.
You know what? I think it's cattle.
It is cattle. Placer Big Trees Grove. It's the most northerly stand of naturally occurring giant sequoias. And it first became known during the times of the gold rush when prospector Joseph Matlock stumbled upon him in 1855. Joseph came to the west in the mid-1850s with his wife Betsy Ann and two young daughters Mina and Henrietta. They lived in Michigan Bluff, later Forest Hill, both places we've done some investigations, explorations at. He was a prospector, and he made it well known. He was very fearful that the local towns and miners would cut this down. So he started the act that protected them all, or at least tried to tell other miners not to cut them down. Some of the trees are over 1,000 years old, but most of them are fairly young. Pretty big trees in this area. A lot of big trees, not just sequoias. And each tree was named after a World War I hero, as I was saying earlier in one of my videos. We have to protect them. I'm not sure if these trees are it either. They look like giant sequoias to me, but I could be wrong. There's a lot of smoke in this woods. It's like fog. I don't know. They're supposed to be labeled with numbers and interpretations. It's not numbered, so I guess we'll have to... Well, I know what they look like, and they look like those with the massive spread outs at the top, where they branch out at the very top. Those have got to be it. Those might be the only ones. It's hard to say. It's just a grove of them, and those got to be it. It says this is the smallest redwood grove and only has 6 living sequoias. 4 small trees, 2 larger isolated trees, 2 more trees fell in 1861. The largest in this forest is 12 feet in diameter. And they all honor World War leaders, at least 4 of them do. And a century later, the grove was designated as a botanical area by the forestry. Where? Oh, look, guys, look.
Yeah, she knows.
Oh. Yeah, that's one of the bigger ones. Look at that. Hey, can we walk down to it or what? Ow. Oh, that hurt. Oh, wow. Since they call them redwoods, you can kind of see a reddish tint to the bark. That's a beast. It was in the 1890s that this area was recognized. Back then it was the miners and the prospectors that protected the area, especially Joe Matlock. Most of the trees are fairly young. When I say young, 700 years old. These trees can live till 2,000–3,000 years old, so it's important we protect them. Someday these trees will once again thrive. I just did a panorama on one of them because it was so tall. They're very amazing. They spread out at the top. That's how you know those are sequoias. Like this one here might be a redwood. It's hard to tell. I got the sun in my eyes, and they're not labeled. I took a panorama of the one tree, but I think the other ones are back there, but we'll come back through here and I can get more panoramas. There should be another little cross trail coming up. It's short, but we'll take that too. I think that's the grove back there where I took the pictures. There's a couple redwoods back there. They're just not labeled. It says, I've read somewhere, it said there's 12 to 13 interpretations, and you can see that they're gone, they're missing. Someone probably ripped them up and vandalized, because it's ripped right off the post. There's no sign. So we don't even know the names of the trees. Online you can look up the names, but every tree kind of looks alike. They're all very big sequoias. Oh yeah, because it's starting to settle.
My eyes are starting to burn.
This is like a fog, this smoke. So yeah, those were the giant sequoias, all one after another. And this must be the rest of the trail. It says 40 minutes because they expect you to read the signs, and there are no signs. And I don't see the other trail. Very odd. If this comes out near the road, that's it, I'm turning back. Because I want more pictures of those trees. I've just been moving along trying to find out if there's anything else back here. Huh? Huh. There's a tree back in here. Let's see if you can see it. That trunk is over 13 feet around. Look at the tree, it towers way above the rest. There are some really large trees. These giant sequoias, these are some of the only ones left in the world. They were here back in the dark ages, the medieval times. They were grown before Columbus set sail for the Americas. Just to give you an idea of how old of an area this is. Now, I'm not here for Bigfoot or paranormal. I'm here for preservation. There's plaques? Hey, we finally found one. The other ones must be not giant sequoias. They might be sequoias, but they're not large enough yet to... I don't know how we're going to get them. I'll have to do... Oh, so where do we go?
I'm just gonna follow it down because I'll probably fall going down there.
As long as we get to see it, whatever way's fine. That's huge. Holy shit. A family photo. Because I'm going to start developing photos in a few months. I'm going to get blow-ups and posters and things. This is, man. I thought the other trees were large. This is monolithic. You boys got to stand in front of that, man. There's nothing that compares to the size of this. This is, what's it say? You are here. The Pershing tree? This is a Pershing tree.
Yeah, that's in the back.
The Roosevelt tree, the Jofer tree, Fallen tree, Lions Club plantation, group of 4 trees, Hagen Lardner trees, and then you have, oh, this is the trail. See the trail I wanted to take back? The side trail. So,
Roosevelt Fallen tree, see?
Number 13.
Oh, over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, so is this the biggest one?
That's number 13, yeah.
This is the biggest because I want to get a tripod
So
shot.
basically we need to just go around this way and it'll intersect back here with our trail.
Yeah, but this is the one I want to take.
I know. Oh, wait a minute. It's both sides. You're right. It completely splits off. So, well, do you want to go down and get these?
I want to get them all, so I don't care where we start.
Well, we can go around this way and then up to here. But then you want to go back down and take this. This is probably only a few hundred feet.
Yeah. All right, that's fine.
Hello?
It looks hollow. Holy crap, man. It's almost scary to be up.
Jerry Street.
Here, guys.
That's it.
Here. Earlier, ladies and gentlemen, when I began filming, I thought those were the giant sequoias. They are sequoias, but they're not giant sequoias. These are giant sequoias. You can see the difference. These are twice the size of the trees I was originally videotaping earlier. I thought that was the grove because I seen a sign missing. I thought, hey, that's one of the redwoods. Was not. This is a fallen sequoia. This fell, number 14, in 1862. However, in 1853, when Joe Matlock came with his family, and can you imagine stumbling upon a grove of monstrous trees? What would be your reaction? He sought to protect them. He told other miners, don't cut these down, because he knew he stumbled upon something very special. These trees are special. These trees can be 2,000 years old. These ones are not 2,000, but there is one that's like 1,200. There's another one 700. And when we go to Calver's big trees, those can be up to 2,500 years old. So different groves, different ages. But this is one of the northernmost giant sequoias found. And we're right near Lake Tahoe. This is all near Lake Tahoe. Not a lot of people know about this place. And if you come here, just show it respect. Don't carve your name into the tree or spray paint or take the signs. Help me preserve this place so that 700 years from now, generations later, your kids' kids, their kids' kids can see this forest the way it's meant to be seen and enjoyed. It's the largest giant sequoia and the oldest here. No kidding. There's so many different types of trees and brush. It almost would feel like a jungle just hiking along here. I don't mind though. I'm glad that we're able to see these ancient trees. And there's still plenty more to see. It just loops around. Driving 150 miles was well worthwhile. I'd do it all over again to see this place because it's really pretty and it's quiet. There's no people back here. We have the entire place to ourselves. No tourists, no people acting stupid, just you and Mother Nature. It's nice. Leaves are already changing colors in some of the trees. Some of these trees are rotting and it's labeled. A lot of tree rot, a lot of holes from birds, carpenter ants. Nice little bridge. This is a seasonal creek right here, guys. Of course, due to the drought, you're not going to see any creeks flowing except the major rivers like the American River. Oh, there was a chipmunky. Got away. Always the chipmunks get away. Marker 17. I think we're going backwards, but that's okay. What are we looking at? 17? It might be pointing to some of the foliage and plant life here too. Because there's only 6 giant sequoias, 5 or 6. What are those? It's almost fall, so we're not going to see a lot of wildlife here. Normally this place has a lot of flowers along the trail if you come in the spring. However, we have to hike. We generally hike all year round, so different nature, different times of year. In this case, most of the leaves are starting to change colors. There's no flowers. You'll still see squirrels, deer, and sometimes an occasional brown or black bear in this area. I seen a deer on the road earlier. The main thing is the trees. I see flowers all the time, but to see the trees, it's almost like I feel like I'm honored just to walk here, like I'm bowing to the trees. Somebody left some litter up there. Like I said, people ruin it for everybody else. They don't clean up after themselves. It's not right. This place is ancient. This place, it's older than when Columbus came here and the Vikings. Huh.
Smell.
What is that? Is that Bigfoot?
I don't know, but...
Sulfur?
No, it's not. It's like a
Skunk smell?
Yeah.
Bigfoot smells skunky, kind of. Like a little like a skunk. It's very dirty smelling, very like skunk-like. There shouldn't be skunks in this area. Not in the high Sierras or this area. You know, this is a intense Bigfoot area. If you were Bigfoot, wouldn't you want to be roaming these big trees? If you're a creature that's...
we need to go down.
Yeah. We can take this trail back to the parking lot. There's numbers.
This will take us back to the parking lot right here.
Yeah. There's also plaques up there, so...
And we want to see the rest of the plaques out here.
Yeah. Wow. It's a nice little hidden grove of beautiful trees.
Right there.
Huh?
Look down.
Oh, yeah. Tons of redwoods. There's supposed to be 4 that are close to one another, like bam, bam, bam. So I bet you this is the trees that are near each other. It's covered in plastic.
That's what I just said.
Oh.
Like, why does that place? That one does too.
Forestry, maybe, did that because it's dry. There's a bunch of different piles. Wow. Yeah, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have this giant one which has a huge base. Wow, I'm gonna have to get a panorama of all these. Some beautiful trees. The smoke in the forest is ridiculous. Must be the creek here. Call it Dry Creek.
Pretty damn dry.
Now, if there was snow melt through the summer, that creek would still be flowing. That's what's sad about it all. It's very dry. And that's not good for these trees. These trees need water. I read somewhere that these trees that grow close to each other, like these ones here, did you know there's an underground river below us? And I read that the underground river or spring is what keeps these trees growing so lush. I bet you guys didn't know that. They said if you be quiet, you can hear the underground river. Of course, I don't hear nothing but a bunch of cattle bells. Is this another fallen sequoia?
Yeah.
Watch it, Jared. Hold on. Dead tree?
Yes.
He got excited for the dead tree. I'm excited about the living ones. The dead ones scare me because it means the rest are going to probably foul. Look at the size of this thing. It's as tall as Tammy almost.
15. I was just there.
People put a bunch of their names in it.
9-1.
That looks freshly cut. There's a lot of sap. They said you can hear the underground river. That's why the trees are alive even through the drought. They're not suffering because there's water flowing beneath their feet. Ooh. That's the snake pit right there. That bird is pissed. He is PO'd. He's like, get out of my woods. Just water under the bridge. Oh wait, there is no water. What is that?
Looks like it was a nest.
Huh. There's a lot of birds. They said, I think, 200 something species of birds back where we're at.
I wish I could find that one squawking because I throw a rock at it.
Knocked it out.
We could put it on the dinner table, right? Just take a little blow dart and
TV beat up.
pluck his feathers and have a little mini hen for dinner. A mini hen.
TV smacked it dead.
Okay, this is a picture worth the area too. The size of this. It's like almost 10 feet.
The bottom of the other one.
Yeah. This is the bottom of the tree that was falling. We were on the top, huh? Well, very friendly people, but that doesn't mean they're going to like me. You know what I'm saying? They might like other people. And we have another one. This must be the lone tree. They said there's a lone tree where it's by itself. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, picnic time. Beautiful. The bench is fine to sit on. Nothing will bite but ticks in your ass. Don't mind the ticks. Lone redwood, but still very prestigious and beautiful. Water coming up from the ground. There's underground streams and rivers. See the creek? It's still wet a little. It's stagnant water, though. You won't want to drink that unless you really boiled and filtered it well. Could be a process. About to head out of the grove, and then we're going to take another trail. It's almost 2 miles worth of trails we've taken. And walking back and forth and checking out the trees. Backtracking a little. But there's one more trail we're going to take. Hopefully we'll see one more big tree or giant sequoia. Too many video games. That's what I attribute it to. See, when we were kids, this is what we did. We ran in the woods and played. And I'm trying to get you guys to get away from technology and just be free in the woods. Howl. Howl like a monster. Huh.
Is if Jared climbed over there and looked through and you could get his picture from right here?
That's like a lot of work.
Cool. He'll do it.
That'd be a cool picture.
You're a climber, aren't you? Let's see you do some adventuring. Look for some Sasquatch poop up there while you're at it, too. Because no human's crazy enough to climb up there. Well, I might. I could go up the side and look out.
Right here. I mean, it should be pretty easy to climb up right here.
Come on, get the gorilla sounds going, Oz. Yeah, don't get your head caught in there either. I don't need to call the forestry. Yes, look at me here. I'll take one here. Look, no, through here.
Oh, it's okay?
Yeah. But if you can't do it,
No, I can't.
what?
You need to look up from below and get
Oh, you want me to take it from the ground up?
Yeah.
All right.
Don't you have a cool picture?
You're glowing.
I can go to the next trail.
I just started filming you
Sure, it's more like
just to
that.
put you in perspective.
So small to it?
It's a big tree, man.
This tree's 3 times taller than him. You see him walking across, it's like, whoa.
It's huge. It's just like wide. It's like inside a.
Come down safely.
Okay. Ready for me to jump?
Do you need
A
help?
place where boys, don't jump, dude. Where boys can be boys. The Redwood Forest. Shh. Action Jackson.
I swear if I did that.
Where's the cattle?
Calf, my bone. You know that poster?
American Horror Story?
It's a painting.
Oh,
It's called American Guy. Like, no expressions on their face. It was done by a famous painter. You know what?
oh, you mean the farmers with the pitchfork?
Yes, it's called American Gothic.
American Gothic?
Yeah, that's the name of the painting.
Are you American Gothic?
Well, he was standing there in the picture like this.
Oh, all mad, the picture? That you look like you're from American Gothic. It's okay to smile, Peaches. I mean, that's a beautiful 12-foot... That tree is 12 feet high. I could kiss that tree. I could make sweet love to that tree. I could make... Does he? I got one of them smiling, too. I could make love to this tree, but I wouldn't. And that doesn't mean I'm weird. There's just nobody else like me. That's what it is. There's nobody else like me. These trees excite me. These trees excite me. No, these trees excite me. I would kiss these trees, pamper these trees, kiss these trees all night. I don't know. I'd definitely hug them.
This 7 right here is where they planted the new tree, the lion's cub.
Right back here. Do you even see it?
I'm thinking it's the ones right here that are dead.
These dead ones?
I don't know.
These are not redwoods. They're supposed to have a redwood back here, a new one growing.
That's the grove they just planted right here.
Yeah.
You can look at it and tell. They're all in a line.
Yeah. Wow.
That's like that when I was a kid.
So, you okay with your hair being dyed black? I'll even get your ear pierced like me. Twice. 2 times. 2 for luck. Yeah, come on. Wow, look at this. Is this just a little trail that goes up to them? Holy crap, this is so awesome. Look how close they are. This is where the underground river goes. Flows right down to the roots. Hey,
I shall not pass.
I'll pass. Come on, man. I got movies to film, people to meet, producers to impress. Not really, but I got YouTube fans, and those people do matter. We appreciate you watching our videos, as crazy and silly as they are, and all the weird things we come across and find. It's meant to be shared with friends and family and good people. Look at these. All 4 of them are in a line. There's supposed to be 4. 1, 2, 3, and then there's one down there. Huh? 4? Oh, behind me. This thing's so big it's blocking. Everything's blocking here. Jeez. Can't even see the tops hardly. Wow. Well, I'm glad we got to stop at these trees, because I did want to stop at them when I got to. Huh? Hi. Hi. Cool. It's beautiful. The oldest tree here is 1,200 years old, I think, maybe 1,300. This is the youngest sequoia forest. But you're right. They're all growing next to each other, but that's natural. So one seedling probably started, but they're all the same height. But maybe one started it, or maybe a seed pod broke. They come in huge pods like pine cones. Like, see those big? Hey, look. That's what spreads the seeds. You see this down here? It's a huge pine cone, a gigantic one.
Look at the rest of the forest.
And there's none, I know.
Equally spaced in a straight line.
Trees?
Anywhere else?
No, you don't.
No.
So why do you think that happened? Maybe the way the wind blew the seeds? Or did the natives plant them? This area's had Native American tribes that lived along the American River and used this place as hunting and as a sacred site. But you don't think they planted it, do you? Where they could have gotten the seedlings from a grove, trading them from another tribe and grew them here?
I don't know. It's just very bizarre, that's all.
Oh, it is. Mother Nature can pull, throw some wrenches into the situation. So when you really think about it, Mother Nature does weird things. And if the trees grow in all line, that's weird if there was no human interaction. This tree's enormous. There's enough wood there to build a whole school. A couple schools in some of these towns. Iowa Hill has an interesting history about schools, and they had so many different buildings, and we're going to be going there next. And it all burned down. 3 fires took the whole town. Iowa Hill is known as the town that never died because it always bounced back. But today it's just a few businesses, historic sites, trails, and campgrounds, and then some quiet residential streets. And a couple cemeteries, which are the true meat of the crop, since the cemeteries tell you about the lives these people lived, braving one of the last final frontiers, the high Sierras of the Tahoe National Forest. This is Lord Rick. I need this hike. I need it. I need to go uphill. I can count the pounds coming off. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Oh, my ass cheeks aren't as big today. My pants fit. Where?
Yeah, just right over that ridge where I saw you guys.
Wow.
Pretty substantial one.
Really? And he's nearby then. There's a bear nearby. Cool, huh? Oh, come on, you guys know how I like to get up in the bear's face and take pictures and video and act like I'm one of the bears until it starts like its hair standing up, and it stands up. Then I'm going to have to book it a little. I'll run downhill though. That way it stumbles and falls. That way I stumble and fall too and probably crack my head open. Well, no, because he said that way. The car is this way. Well, I told you they have bears here. I've seen the beer boxes. Maybe they smell our food in our backpacks. The chocolate. Maybe that's why it's out. As long as we keep moving, we're okay. They don't like moving people all together. But if you just stand still and put the packs down, they might come around trying to get in your backpack for that Milky Way. There used to be a plaque here. Huh.
That's what it was.
What?
We went out on the backside of the trail.
Yep, we did. There are bears. I wish I could have got a picture of him. That would have made my day. Screw the cows, right? Go for the bigger thing, the bear. I love photographing and videotaping bears. National Geographic does that all the time. I'm just an independent National Geographic sort of guy, But I do it independently. I don't do it for money. It's more of a hobby. I like wildlife. I respect it too. I know when to stop and back off. If it doesn't like me, I'll go. I'm not going to stick around and get it angry. You got to make yourself bigger than the bear or the coyote or the mountain lion. They'll run off. If you just stand there and start running from it, that's it. It's going to get you. Yeah, switch back and forth. Not many people that come here. I thought it was more of a tourist place, but I guess it's more. It's so difficult to get out here, or so remote. It doesn't get as many visitors as it probably should. So there's cattle, there's bear. The wildflowers are dead, but there's some interesting plant life I took pictures of that I found here. Land of big trees. Christ. They say it's the smallest grove, but I'll tell you what, this grove is beautiful.
We're almost to the parking lot. There's the bathroom, see them? I'll tell you what, there's a well-deserved special snack break when I get back to the vehicle. Took the car out today instead of the Jeep. Our Jeep's repaired, but was down for 2-3 weeks trying to find out what it was and put in new sensors. Crankshaft sensor, oil pressure sending unit, new battery, new computer. So a lot of money I sunk into it. However, we want it to be safe for future trips, but we're still testing it for the next week. So I could not drive 300 miles today to do this. So I took the car. When you get 30 miles a gallon, it's a steal. Gas in California is pretty expensive. The trail just loops around. We've done the entire thing. We missed the bear. Sucks, but it's okay. I got my kids. I don't mess with dangerous wildlife too much unless I'm by myself. That way it's just me and it doesn't startle the bears too much. We're out of here. Check us out. www.paranormalghostsociety.org for cryptozoology, parapsychology, ufology, and the strange. Peace. So now we head out of here. And I should give you a little more history at each of the trees. But I wanted to keep things as pure as possible. They are trees. And it doesn't matter what name they have. At all costs, we got to protect them. You have to understand that we have one tree here that you've seen today over 250 feet tall. You have another tree, the Pershing tree. It's 225 feet tall, 12 feet in diameter. The Joffrey tree, it's 10 feet in diameter, 250 feet tall, a little over. The Roosevelt tree, named after 26th President of the United States. It is thought that the tree fell during the same windstorm in 1861 that felled the unnamed tree. It's more than 130 years. It's survived summer droughts, winter snows, forest fires, and it's not decayed or weathered away. It's survived summer droughts, winter snows, a couple forest fires, as you've seen when I was driving up here, and yet it's still alive. A piece of the Roosevelt tree broke off. It fell so hard that the branch had embedded in the soil. A lot of different trees. A lot of them were named after World War I heroes, and we'll talk about each World War I hero on our site. We will. Because I'm going to do a nice historical and nature piece on this place. And we're going to put it together. It was strange because we smelled this nasty, dirty, skunky smell, and we thought, skunks are very rare in the Sierras. They're more in the meadows, and if you go on Nevada, you go out where the pastures and country land is along the Sierras, you'll find them out there. And we smelt it for a while, and then it faded off, and then later on a bear came through in the area, and they don't like skunks. So it makes you wonder. I read an article about bear versus Bigfoot, who would win, and what happens when they encounter each other. And the guy told me there was a bear. I have not seen it, but he said it was above the ridge when we were sitting there. We were eating. It probably smelled the food. We have picnics out here. You know, if the bear wants the food and save our lives, and it saves our lives. But I like to film them at times and take photos of nature. And I don't overstay my welcome. Just like with these trees. It's just, I've had enough memories. Just seeing the trees is enough to last me a lifetime. And these trees will outgrow my lifetime if we protect them. That's all I really want to say. Roosevelt tree is amazing. Along with all the rest of them I've seen today. This is Lord Rick. Pine nuts? Would you eat these?
Pine nuts are tiny, tiny.
Would you eat? I know what pine nuts are, but I'm saying, would you eat these? Look at the spikes. That scares me.
Well, no,
It means they're
that's
hostile. Yeah.
Ow.
Which means the nut's hostile, probably, too. Maybe not. Some nuts are hard to get to.
It stabbed me.
It stabbed you?
Probably gonna be
Now you're going to get a bacterial infection, flesh-eating bacteria, where you lose your finger and some strange crap like that. This was fun. I'm glad I got to take you here.
You know what? It having the spikes on
Look,
it.
he's like, I'm a teenager, don't film me.
It having the spikes on it
Uh-huh.
probably means that it's edible because it probably developed the spikes because
To protect it from animals and, yeah, survival of the fittest, evolution. Gotcha. Just like these trees. That's evolution. Do you know the Roosevelt tree broke and it still survived?
Wow. Do we need anything out of here?
No, I got my drinks. We're going to head off to Iowa Hill, do the graveyards, have a picnic at the park, and then we'll do the second half of the town, and we'll head out to the river to have some fun. Yeah, we're out of here. Big Tree Grove, Tahoe National Forest.